Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. This is the tarot reading that is all about manifesting and nothing else. It is simply about helping you to use the pictures, the images, the sights and sounds, the feelings in your head, between your ears. Not picking them up from some TV screen or from screen on a smartphone or any of that other kind of stuff. But you actually creating the pictures in your mind. It is powerful juju. And yet, we have been conditioned to feed off the teat of mass media. I got to see pictures. I can't think of the pictures on my own. You know, there have been a number of studies, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, over the past 20 years or so, that's showing we're getting dumber. We're losing the ability to hang on to a thought for any extended period of time. Significant numbers. Mid-50s, we were able to hold on to a thought for about 3.5 minutes. Now we're down to under 30 seconds. So we have been dumbed down. And one of the ways we've been dumbed down is that we keep looking at the screen for the images and we don't make them in our heads. One of the most powerful things that you can do is put muscles on your imagination, so to speak. If you were to get a good storyteller and just close your eyes and listen to the story, and it was an interesting story and they were very good at telling it, you would start to make pictures in your head. That's great. That's great. That's your power. And it's a situation, for example, let's say the story that this person was telling was a scary story. Monsters, ghosts, whatever, that kind of stuff in it. Now, as they're telling the story, not everything is the same level. You know, like everything else in life, there's peaks and valleys. Sometimes it's pretty quiet, and sometimes it gets very suspenseful. Let's say we're in one of those suspenseful moments. At the moment where the fear level is high in the storytelling, remember, you're not looking at anything, you're listening. At the point where the fear level is high, let's say you have 10 people listening to the story. Every one of those 10 people will have a different picture in their mind. Now, if they're talking about a ghost, you're going to begin with a ghost, but what is around the ghost, how the ghost looks, and so on and so forth, it's going to be different with everybody. That's the power of imagination. It gives you more power, more strength, more focus. And that's why, even though we talk about manifesting, we really don't spend much time helping develop it. And we need, especially now, help at developing the pictures between our ears. We need that. So that's my job, is to inspire you. Looking at these 5 cards on the screen, I do this every day, 365, holidays not, doesn't make any difference. My job is to help you. Oh, by the way, I have discovered recently YouTube has made some minor modifications, as they always do, to give themselves more power and you less. I would ask you, please, to subscribe to this podcast. The other items, maybe not so important, but the subscribe, very important. So if you found it helpful, beneficial, please subscribe. Okay, I don't want YouTube to move me off into a corner somewhere and virtually make me disappear. I'm doing this because I want to help. I'm doing this because I want to inspire. I'm doing this to help you manifest a better life for you. Perfect life? No. Life is a 4-letter word. It ain't going to ever be perfect. But if you can manifest, you can begin to take control of your life, your vision, your dream. Just remember to work within your life destiny. We'll talk about that at some other time. So again, if you can hit the subscribe button, I will appreciate it. So let us begin. The card in the middle, that is the Oracle card. Today it's Treasure Island. We're seeing a... well, it looks like a turtle to me, but it could be a tortoise, whatever. It doesn't make any difference. And it looks like it's carrying gold, something in a container. and the turtle, tortoise, whatever, is swimming, going to a destination, Treasure Island. Treasure Island. When I use that phrase, Treasure Island, what pictures do you get in your head? I'm old enough where I can think of pirates. Maybe you think of something else. But there's something very valuable. This turtle is headed towards a very important destination. Treasure Island. And of course, as I said, it looks like it's gold. The number up in the right-hand corner is 9, meaning coming to an end. Okay? Number 9 talks about closing of experience and accumulation of information, knowledge, wisdom. You are coming to the end of a certain chapter. You're coming to your treasure island. Now, the question is, what is treasure? Well, that's different for a whole lot of people. But basically, I'm sure we would be talking about gold, silver, money of one kind or another. But is that really what is the true treasure? Well, we do know where you're headed is an ultimate destination. It's a great place. But you got to wrap up where you are now, close the journey, and get to your treasure island. Let's go to the meme and let's look more deeply at this idea of treasure. We get this from Nikola Tesla. Most persons are so absorbed in the contemplation of the outside world that they are wholly oblivious to what is going on within themselves. That's called distraction, and that's exactly what is being done to each and every one of us. Using this phony technology, we're being distracted by pictures and images, and look, you can get whatever you want instantaneously, just order it and get it, and I got all these choices. First of all, the choices are not your choices. They are choices that have been set up by the people who have all the money. That half of 1%. They run everything. So they're giving you a phony menu. You think it is valuable. You think it's treasure. And so you chase it. When you chase it, you get into debt. When you're into debt, you got to take a job, whether you like it or not, because you got to pay off that debt. And then when you take that job that you don't care for, you're wasting time in your life that you're never going to get back again. Whatever time you spend at work today, if you don't love it, you just pissed away that time in your life. You're never going to get that back again. Never. It's gone. You're older. You're getting closer to death. And you just gave it up for money because you're in debt for things that you really don't need, but they want you to buy to keep them rich, to keep them in power. They keep you enslaved. But that's the treasure, right? I want that new car. I want that new house. I want. And yet with all this wanting, there's very little happiness. Certainly no joy. Joy is much higher than happiness. Happiness comes and goes. You know, I can be happy about one thing right now, and in a couple of hours I'm going to be unhappy about the very same thing. Joy continues on. Joy is deeper. We don't pay attention to joy. We pay attention to happy. I want to be happy, happy. Buy these new pairs of shoes. Get this new car. Get this. I'm in debt. Oh my God, I got to do a shit job. 8 hours there. Put up with all kinds of crap. Then, of course, there's the extra lunch, half hour, an hour, and that takes another half hour of my day. Then there's the commute time, and then there's the cost of a car, maintaining it, getting insurance for it. All these costs keep adding up. You never get out of it. You're always in prison, a debt prison. Treasure Island? So we go back to Nikola Tesla. Most people are so absorbed about looking at the outside world, getting involved in the outside world, that they're completely unaware of what's going on within themselves. And that's where the real Treasure Island is. But things are about to change. We begin all the way to the left, not one but two Wheel of Fortune cards. Different decks, as I use 4 different decks. So these are from 2 different decks, same card, Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune talks about destiny. It's a turning point. It gives you a big picture. You begin to put the parts and pieces of your jigsaw puzzle life together. It's an awakening. You have the opportunity coming up, if you choose to use the energy. You have free will. You can pass up on a good thing. If you choose to tap into this energy of change, you can begin the journey to a real treasure island, a place of joy, a place of peace, a place where you feel like you're actually living your life. You're not just existing. You know, you're not having to tackle all this debt that keeps you enslaved. It's a losing proposition. In America, in a lot of other places, it's called capitalism, but capitalism is all based on capital. Things. That's what capital is. Things. And the people who own the things are the capitalists. And every time capitalism runs for a little ways, 10, 20, 30 years, you get fascism. Because the rich people buy up all the politicians, and so the politicians are working for the rich. They're not working for you or me. And so they do things that make the rich more powerful and stronger, and the masses weaker, more enslaved. That's how it works. You take a look at history. It works every single time. So this treasure that you have been chasing, maybe it's time to redefine what treasure is for you. You want to keep working 40, 50, 60 hours a week just to pay off debts so that they get rich and you basically keep your head above water. Just heard a story the other day. The Fed, which is a private bank, it's not owned by the government, not anything to do with it. It's a bunch of Zionist bankers who control the Fed. Interesting history, but I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, supposedly they said, guess what? We can't control inflation. It's just going to get out of hand. Well, that means that everything that you buy is going to cost you a hell of a lot more. How much? We don't know. People are already hurting, but apparently that hurt's going to continue. I know that the latest numbers I looked at was that grocery prices of just about everything have gone up just about 25-30% over the past 3 years. What happens if over the next 3 years they go up another 25 or 30%? You going to be able to eat? No, you'll be a prisoner. You'll do whatever they tell you. That's your treasure island? Is that where you're headed? Time for a change. Not one but two Wheel of Fortune cards. Let's move on to the next one. Queen of Pentacles. Pentacles are things that we value, and we're not, again, just talking about money. We're talking about things that are really important. How important is your health? How important is peace in your life? How important is it to have joy in your life? How important is it, how valuable is it to be able to feel like you are actually living your life, not just existing for somebody else? So the Queen of Pentacles is resourceful. She's down to earth. She's mature. She's stable. Because she knows where her treasure island is and what her treasure is. And it's not money. Money is a tool. That's all. It's not the end result. So, you are being given a chance in the final card here, Four of Swords, to rethink what's valuable to you, what's important to you. What is your treasure island? In fact, what is treasure to you? Is it simply chasing money that you don't have any control over? You know, it's amazing. You hear people go, well, you know, I'm investing in gold, I'm investing in silver, I'm investing in crypto. Who do you think controls the value of all of these things? They are people and families you don't even know the name of. And yet they are worth trillions trillions of dollars. And they decide what things are going to be worth. In fact, I just heard the other day an advertisement for silver. Invest in silver. Silver, you can depend on. Well, it turns out silver was worth twice as much a year ago as it's worth today. So in other words, a year ago, if you bought silver thinking, hey, man, I'm going to protect myself, your investment was cut by 50%. Now silver's on the rise again, but they play with this stuff. They play up and down with gold, with crypto. They control the treasure. You think you're going to win that game? Start deciding what is your real treasure. It's your time, it's your opportunity. Take it, leave it. Tao Manifested Tarot for today. Back again tomorrow with another one. Between now and the next time you and I have a chance to get together and talk tarot, peace and blessings.